What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with our round of 64 preview and picks day two. We're doing the Friday games today, and we're going to get that out for you before it starts here. But we're going to talk about yesterday. And Ty, I finally beat you. That Murray State game is a win. So I went 12-4. You went 10-6. So I got two back on you, but it's a lot of catching up. But the big surprises of the day, the Iowa Hawkeyes, and of course the Kentucky Wildcats going down. And Kentucky, I think, is the one that's hurting everybody right now. A lot of brackets are already busted. But I think the story that no one's going to talk about because of this day is the South Dakota State Jackrabbits really not living up to that upset expectations. You and me were both high on them. I picked even against my Friars that I've bet on all year. And, Providence really showed that they were the better team that time.
Yeah, shout out Providence. They clutched up like they have all season, really. So they came through. And then Indiana, it's not surprising that they lost, but it's surprising they got absolutely dog walked by St. Mary's. I'm not sure what happened there, but that surprised me a lot. And then, unfortunately, San Diego State just completely choked away that game.
I'd like to thank everyone. We are at 100 subscribers, so we will be doing our giveaway soon. So make sure you guys are, staying in touch with our videos to see who wins. But we're going to get back into this video as we have Loyola and Ohio State, and it's a lines even, so that must mean it must be a close game. And I'm going with Loyola because I'm never betting against Sister Jean here.
Yeah, I got to go with Ohio State here. Zed Key and Kyle Young both active today, which makes them the better team here. And I'm going with the Buckeyes as much as I hate them.
12:40. I have another upset brewing here. I got Jacksonville State pulling off the upset against Auburn. I really think this Auburn Tigers team is a fraud. We've seen them since the beginning of February kind of just coast here. And SEC tournament, we saw them, not show up. But Jacksonville State got in by default because they won the ASUN in the regular season. Bellarmine wins the conference tournament. So Jacksonville State gets in, and I think they're going to make the most of this opportunity.
I think Auburn just gets past this game with their defense, but going forward, they are no lock to win any game, even the second round. But I think they do just get past this game.
At 145 on TNT, we got my pick to win it all. Texas Tech going against Montana State. I think Texas Tech is really going to limit Montana State offensively. With Texas Tech being the best defensive team in the country, we already know how that's going to go. We've seen it in previous years. A lot of teams struggle, especially in the tournament. And I would say after this game, whoever they play in the round of 32 is really going to struggle because you only get a day to prepare. Texas Tech, I think they're going to kind of run away with this one in the second half. It'll probably be a low-scoring first half, I think. But Texas Tech will find their groove in the second half.
Yeah, the only way they lose this game is if someone is red hot, like you saw for New Mexico State last night. But I don't see that happening. So I'm going with Texas Tech here. Their defense, and they'll score enough to win.
At 2, we have a game that I think is going to be closer than that 16.5 spread. Purdue and Yale, and it seems like the Ivy League every year makes it a very close game till the last few seconds. And Purdue is that team that is susceptible of that upset just because we don't know what Purdue team we're going to get every time they step out on the floor. I know they're 27-7, so most of the time you get the good ones, but there's very questionable teams. When they played Michigan, absolutely getting blown out. I didn't even see it coming as a Michigan fan. I thought it would be a close game, but Purdue just didn't show up. And really the whole story of Purdue this year is what team you're going to get. And I think you are going to get the good Purdue team, but 16.5 is a lot asking from Purdue.
Yeah, that's a lot of points. I also think Yale will cover. People forget Purdue lost in the first round last year, a game no one saw them losing. So you never really know what can happen, but they're just not going to lose this game with Edey and Williams down low. So I don't think they'll let that happen, but it will be closer.
And then we have Villanova, who will absolutely wipe the floor with Delaware. I think this is the dark horse 2 seed to really win it all. As we've seen, some upsets already this year. There's no way Villanova can lose this with all their momentum they have right now. Everything's going their way. Probably top 3 hottest teams in college basketball right now. They didn't win the Big East regular season, but they did go win the conference tournament. And I think they're going to take that momentum and just absolutely throttle Delaware.
Yeah, watch out for Villanova this year. No one's really talking about them, and it's Jay Wright and Colin Gillespie. You can't count them out. I think they easily get through this game. They're a team to watch out for going forward.
And then we start getting into the really close and good matchups here. Miami and USC, and both the you and I are going with the upset, the 10-7 upset in Miami, mostly because all year we've just been talking about how USC has been the fraud team of the year candidate. It was Xavier, but then they just completely fell off. So it really kind of dwindled down to USC, as the only good win they've had this year is against UCLA. But in other games that are, similar skill set to where USC is ranked, I believe they're 1-5 in those matchups. And this is kind of along the same lines here. So give me Miami.
Yeah, Miami played really well in the ACC tournament. And USC, like you said, they have one good win all year, and it's at home. They've really done nothing away from their home court. So I'm going with Miami. They have experienced guards with Charlie Moore and Isaiah Wong, and I think they get the win here.
And then at 4:15, I'm going with another upset pick here with Notre Dame pulling off the win against Alabama, because the first four team has won at least one game in the tournament since it has been a thing, and the only year has been 2019. And I don't see that happening again here. Alabama is the most inconsistent team in the country, and you have Notre Dame coming off of that win, so they have a little momentum coming in here. And I think they are going to get it done because, history backs it up that it's going to happen.
Yeah, I just think Alabama's too athletic for Notre Dame in this game. And again, it comes down to guard play. They have J.D. Davidson and Javon Quinterly. So I just think it's going to take a huge game from Blake Wesley for Notre Dame, and I don't see that happening. So I'm going with the Tide, but I don't feel great about it.
And then I think the best matchup of the day, you can make a case for Virginia Tech and Texas. Virginia Tech getting in because they won the ACC championship. They were definitely not in if they didn't win. And then you got Texas, who limped into the tournament, my preseason pick to win it all at 21-11. And I'm not confident in Texas. Chris Beard has done a pretty okay job, I guess you could say, because they aren't really his players this year. But he still got them to the tournament, got Texas basketball kind of back to where they want it to be in years to come. But this year is just not his year. So give me the Hokies.
Yeah, this could definitely go the other way for me, but I just think Virginia Tech's kind of came down from their championship now. It's been 6 days. So they're not going to be quite as hot as we saw them in the ACC tournament. And I'm banking on Texas's defense to kind of shut them down. And Texas is the more talented team. So I'm just going with them to pull through here. I'm betting on Chris Beard. But they gotta get it together because they've struggled their way into the tournament. But I think they turn it around in this game.
And then at 6:50, we got Chattanooga and the Mocs going against Illinois and the Fighting Illini. And I think this game is going to be a very high-scoring game because the Mocs love to score. Illinois hates playing defense, it seems like. But they do have Kofi Coburn, and I think that's going to be the key for Illinois to win this game.
Yeah, I think Chattanooga matches up really well with Illinois everywhere except the center position, and that's going to be the difference. Kofi should have a big game, and if Frazier can hit a couple shots, Illinois should be able to get through. But upset alert for sure.
And not an upset alert game here, but we saw it last night where Kentucky got upset, and no one thought that would ever happen. And I think Duke is just going to absolutely throttle Cal State here. In Coach K's last year, there's no way he gets upset in the first round. Maybe next round I could see happening. But in the first round, I just can't see Coach K going out that way.
If Duke loses this game, I might just never do a bracket again because that's just how unpredictable it would be if that happened. But there's no way they lose in Coach K's last year in the first round.
7:20, we got Iowa State and LSU. This game is really a coin flip game, but I'm going to go with LSU even without Will Wade as the head coach. I just think Iowa State, what they had last year, the 2-win season, I think it's just remarkable that they are even in the tournament and not even a bubble team. They made it just because of how good they've played this year in a tough Big 12. They hung in there, competed, and here they are. They get rewarded with a tough matchup in LSU. And I think the SEC is going to win this one.
Yeah, these are two teams that limped their way into the tournament. LSU fired their coach. How motivated are they? I'm going with Iowa State. I think they have the go-to guy at the end of the game in Brockington, and LSU doesn't really have that. And Iowa State's played in the slightly better conference in the Big 12, so they're really battle-tested. I'm going to go with the Cyclones. They won 2 games last year. They are ready for this, and I think they get the upset win.
And then we don't really need to talk about this one too much. Wright State, they won, got to get rewarded with Arizona, so congratulations to them. But the Wildcats, Koloko has been the story of the year, I would say, for Arizona. He just has absolutely dominated the Pac-12, and he's going to start dominating the tournament soon, as we'll see that tonight.
Yeah, take the over in this game. Wright State proved against Bryant. They can score the ball, but they play no defense, and we know how Arizona can score on offense. So go with the over in this game. I don't care how high it is.
And then at 9:20, here's an upset that could be brewing. UAB and Houston. UAB loves to score, and Houston, they love to sometimes run, but they kind of play how the other team wants to play because they can do both. But I think Houston does have the advantage because they are more battle tested this year. You know, they have had a rocky road getting here the last month or so, but Houston, I think it's a good wake up call for them, what they went through. And I think they will survive the upset here. That 8.5, I think it'll be a closer game than that, probably 5, anywhere to a one possession to 5-6 points. But Houston will come out victorious.
Yeah, UAB does have a stud point guard. I forget his name. It's Big Cat's favorite player, but that's always the recipe for a big upset. But I just think Houston's too physical. They'll rebound too well, and I think they should be able to get through this. Houston's the kind of team that doesn't really get upset in the first round. They rebound really well. They play really good defense, so they usually can get through these games.
We got Foster, Lawyer, and Davidson going against this old school in Michigan State. And I'm going with Foster Lawyer to, get some revenge on the Sparties. And, how fitting would it be for Izzo, Michigan State to really lose this game? They've fallen off a lot since, I would say, January. They were, almost a top 10 team at that point. And here they are 22-12 as a 7 seed. I think they got advantages over a few teams. They probably should have been a 9-10 seed, in my opinion, with those 12 losses. But how do you get rewarded with a tough matchup? And if you do win this one, more than likely you're playing Coach K and Duke in his last year. I'm not liking, the matchup in the next round, but we're just talking this game. So give me Davidson.
Yeah, Davidson's the popular pick in this game. I don't see it as of now. This is assuming Tyson Walker is available for Michigan State. I know he's kind of up in the air. If he doesn't play, I think they lose. But assuming he does, I think Michigan State can get the win. Davidson's going to have to stop him in transition, and I don't think they'll be able to. And Michigan State's going to rebound too well. And I think Tyson Walker, if he plays, he's going to hit some big shots, and Michigan State wins a close game.
And then at 9:50, we got Wisconsin and Colgate. And here's my big upset of the night. I'm going with the Colgate Raiders. I think this is an upset brewing. You see that line at 7.5 for a 14 and a 3 seed. Something must be up because Vegas knows. They always know. And, we've seen 15 seeds, 14 seeds. Normally it's double digit line. So they're speaking highly of this Colgate team. And Wisconsin, they struggled, losing to Michigan State in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. So they have not played a game in over a week. And I think that's what's going to hurt them, a little rusty. And I think Colgate's going to come out hot. So Wisconsin's going to have to play a lot of catch-up ball. So give me the Raiders.
I think this will be a close game. I think Colgate covers. I have them winning in my upset bracket. But I just think Wisconsin gets through this game based on experience with Brad Davison, Johnny Davis. I think they'll just barely get through. But I am not very confident in Wisconsin going forward. Michigan State kind of gave you the blueprint. It's Johnny Davis or nothing. So if you can stop him, that's how you beat this team. So I think Wisconsin gets through this game, and then they'll run into trouble right away after.
And for the last game of the first round, we got TCU and Seton Hall, and how fitting. The line's even, just a straight up coin flip game. But we are both going with TCU, and I think that's more due to they've beaten Texas, Kansas, Texas Tech. The Big 12 is way better than the Big East was this year. And I think TCU is way more battle tested than Seton Hall has been this year. And I think that's going to be pivotal in this game. So give me the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, I agree. I think playing in the Big 12, they've already racked up some really good wins. TCU has beating Kansas. They just beat Texas in the Big 12 tournament. Seton Hall's just kind of coasted ever since beating Michigan and Texas early in the year. They've just really beat the teams they were supposed to beat. So I got to go with TCU in this matchup.
That's going to be it for the video today. If you liked it, hit that like button below. Comment, let us know what you guys are thinking for picks, and of course subscribe to the channel. Once again, we will be doing that giveaway soon, so stay tuned. But until the next time, the Bench Buddies are out.
She never called back.